What is going on, Cozy Club, and welcome back, my friends. Emperor Kuzco might be one of the most exciting characters that we have had come to DSA in quite a while, but does he live up to the hype? On today's video, we're going to be breaking down Kuzco. We're going to be highlighting what does he do well, we're going to be showing what he lacks thereof, and then most importantly, answering a very important question and getting to our final verdict. Is he worth farming? We've got a lot to cover. Let's dive into it. So as you guys have seen, the Llama Drama event is live and has landed within the game, and it is a whopping 21 days long. 21! I've had friends, I've had people in my life with relationships shorter than 21 days, but here we are. We have an event that's about a month freaking long. Now let's first quickly break down this event. You're going to have 3 different events within one: Llama Drama, Pacha, and Kuzco. Now there's this new ticket system they have that you're going to be using Crunk and Yzma to accrue tickets, and then in that you'll be able to use these tickets to get both Pacha and Kuzco. It's a long event. I'm not crazy about the ticket system in the first place, and to me it doesn't seem extremely free-to-play friendly, but I'll get there more later. If you guys are free-to-play, you want to use all of your refreshes and focus on getting tickets. You don't want to be using your refreshes within the characters alone, and Pacha we'll talk about on a separate video. Let's go ahead and let's talk about the main man of the hour, Kuzco. Now, being a big Emperor's New Groove fan myself, I went all in on Kuzco. Pacha the works. Took him up to gear 9, tested them for hours, and well, I'm being honest, he is a ton of fun to play. He has potential within the raids. However, he leaves a lot to be desired. Overall, I don't know. I understand not every new character is going to be meta or they're going to be amazing, but I might be alone in thinking this, but when it's a big Disney character like Peter Pan as of recent and now Kuzco, I don't know about you guys, but I want these characters to feel pretty powerful within the game. But I'm curious. Comment down below y'all's thoughts on this, because I'm curious about y'all's thoughts as well. As you all know from my video last week, the first impressions of Kuzco looked very solid, with some strong abilities and stats to back it up. However, some of these mechanics didn't translate well. Let's go ahead and look at what Kuzco does well, and then where the Emperor falls short. What Kuzco does well. Let's start with the positives, then move to the negatives. First of all, guys, human form Kuzco is like an A+ character. He's very good. All of his abilities absolutely slap, and he can do a lot of damage and cause a lot of chaos while in his human Emperor form. He has great damage and strong self-supporting abilities. His summons, those Kuzco blue guards, are amazing. They're amongst the best of summons. They have great abilities. They work in the raid phenomenally, and they're really good in PvP. And more on that later. He's a pretty solid damage dealer within the raids. And then his animations, guys. Let me just say this. Kuzco, without a doubt, has my favorite animation within the game. He moonwalks to hit the big damage. It doesn't get better than that. And then, of course, if you're into Club Conquest, which, if you're into it, he's very good there. They're kind of Club Conquest characters first, and then everything comes after that. Now, one other thing I really like and think that Kuzco does well is his abilities are fun and they are very self-sufficient, right? So you threw off my groove, gives him massive amounts of buffs, able to stack up a pretty big hit, giving him counter, getting the summon guards out there. And right now, we don't know if this is intentional, but if you Shadow Kuzco, you can get human form Kuzco, and there's a lot of little things there. Overall, both of his specials can do pretty good damage. Now, as good as human form might be, it is extremely tough, especially in today's meta, to get Kuzco to his human form. This is brought to light extra within PvP, and then can happen in some other game modes as well. Human form does well, but Llama form Kuzco, it just doesn't do that well. It has a few abilities, but all of his main abilities are the best at human form. Really, the only thing the Llama has going for it is a decent evasion passive, and then even with this good ability that he has with Tired of Being a Llama, hitting multiple times, the damage numbers are a little bit wonky and aren't hitting reliable numbers. And then on top of that, this Delta ability upgrade that would be massive to get him to human form faster. If he's able to kill someone, he's able to get an extra turn, only applies to the human form. And this really is what Kuzco lacks. Trying to get that human form with really not great abilities. And then, as we said before, most of these abilities are club conquest focused, which at this point, I wish it could just be club expedition focused. But you're going to be able to have a human Kuzco out the rip at the beginning of club conquest. And with Pacha, he's got some great abilities, but it's club conquest focused only. And that's where it feels like some of his kit is locked behind another game mode, especially one that's not that exciting. And that's the main issue with his overall abilities. Which does lead me to Pacha. This is another big con for Emperor Kuzco because it takes so long for you to get him to human form. A way you can speed that up is Pacha. However, that means that Kuzco is absolutely dependent on Pacha being on the battlefield. And Pacha's a pretty good character. Again, I'll have a video on him later. But you never want a character that's absolutely dependent on another being there. Even with Belle, she has other uses outside of Beast and vice versa. It really just boils down to that there are other free-to-play, plenty of free-to-play options that do Kuzco's job better. I mean, they may not be as fun of options, but they do the job better within raids, PvP, and let's go ahead and jump into those game modes so I can explain that a little bit more. Starting off with the raid, guys, I'm going to let some footage play here while I talk. Kuzco on paper looks like he's going to be a raid conqueror, right? Like, he looks like he's going to do a lot of single target damage. And as you guys know, we have characters that have big AoEs like Namari that don't do quite as well in those game modes. So you would think that he would do a ton within the raid. Now, the good news is he has ample time to transform into a human form, which is where he shines the most. And again, he does respectable damage. He's going to definitely get the Titan empowered, and those summons are off the charts helpful, giving you extra taunts and protects to absorb the big rock Titan's damaging hits, or by buffing up Kuzco. One thing about their kits are they give crit damage or crit chance to Kuzco. However, the thing with this is it doesn't know if he already has these buffs. And so both of them can try to give him crit chance up, and it leaves you not having crit power up, and then it just doesn't work. Now, here are a couple of the big hits that I got out of Kuzco, but again, a little underwhelming in comparison to E and Elsa. Even the newly refreshed Soli, it's just a lot less noticeable DPS, and well, he just doesn't quite hit those eye-popping numbers that you thought he would have done with the abilities and the passive. Apart from Club Conquest, raids is where he shines the most, and by all means, he's not like a bad addition to your team. He's just not going to be someone that you can single-handedly build a team around, and I'm going to keep on testing and keep on trying to find if there's a huge team that you can do. But as you know, at this point within the Siege on Olympus raid, the really viable characters are ones that can get well past empowered. So that's going to put Kuzco at maybe the top of B, or even being lucky the end of A tier. Now, looking at PvP, guys, he's Llama Kuzco. I mean, that's the Kuzco you're going to get in PvP. The matches are just not long enough for him to be able to transform, and you're not going to be able to have him shine without Pacha. And then by the time he even transforms, if you can get him there, people are either going to A, one-shot him, or he does get his turn, but he wastes it on a one single target damage move, and it just doesn't flow well in today's current PvP meta. There are so many elements you can't control, like getting blinds or getting debuffs, and this is what affects Kuzco's transformation. Sometimes you get lucky and you get great runs, and other times not so much. Now, tomorrow, I'm going to be doing something that we don't do often. I'm going to show you guys a lot of cool battles, hopefully ones that we win and lose, or just ones that go unique. And then I'm going to show you also them within the raid. And so if you're curious about that and you want to see a video like that, look out for tomorrow's video. That video is going to show a lot of the interactions. And, you know, again, I took them up to Gear 9, so why not show what they can do? Look out for that tomorrow. He is part of the Kingdom faction, which is one of the best PvP factions in the game, and he does okay at times, but most of the time, this is definitely where he's the most underwhelming. And again, most likely with the overall tier list accounting for the raid and all of the game modes, I see Kuzco around the B+ category. So should you farm Kuzco, guys? The short answer is you can wait for it to be over a course of events. Wait for 3, maybe 4 events to come by and slowly accrue those tickets. You're going to need to get Pacha up there first either way. And Pacha is a more plug-and-play character. He definitely has his faults, but he does things semi-well, and he can help out once that Tornado Titan is dead within the raids. And he has a place within PvP a little bit. Now, as you guys know, you saw the Yzma video. Yzma is the winner of the patch. Yzma's the one to focus on, especially as free-to-play. And then Krunk actually does some really great things within the raid, and that's really where it's crazy. They're all viable, but Kuzco is probably going to be around that Krunk tier territory, just not being excelling at anything. Not every character is going to be elite when they come out. I wanted more from Kuzco, and he's a little bit of a disappointment for all the swagger and all the self-absorption that he does have. But again, I would wait to farm these guys. As many of you guys know, the whole point of this channel and the original creation was to go ahead and test things for you guys, save you guys from either unlocking or spending that money, or just telling you flat out if they're worth going after. Again, I can say with pretty big confidence, you can wait on Kuzco, even Pacha, slow farm them both. You're gonna be just fine, and be working on Yzma, work on Krunk, and get Maleficent if you haven't, and let the events come by as they may. My friends, go ahead and comment down below your thoughts on Kuzco. If you have not subscribed to the Cozy Club already, go ahead and take a second and click that red shiny subscribe button. You guys can also check out the Instagram. We've got Discord and Twitter where I post content related to that and myself as well. Lastly, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and until next time, stay cozy.